What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Daniel Cormier recently shared new details about Magomed Ankalaev's injury following UFC 320, addressing the controversy surrounding the former light heavyweight champion's condition going into the rematch against Alex Pereira. Hours after the event, Ankalaev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, revealed that his fighter had entered the bout with a rib injury. Shortly after, a video surfaced online showing Ankalaev receiving injections into his ribs weeks before the fight, fueling debate among fans about the legitimacy and timing of the injury. Some speculated that the damage may have occurred mid-fight after Pereira landed a series of brutal elbows to Ankalaev's body while on the canvas. However, Daniel Cormier clarified that the injury was very real and severe enough that Ankalaev's team had advised him to withdraw from the card. In a recent video uploaded to his YouTube channel, Cormier confirmed Magomed Ankalaev did have a rib injury. This isn't an excuse or a cover-up. I know because before the fight, I personally saw a video of him getting injections to manage the pain and make it to fight night. Cormier went on to explain that Ankalaev had been extremely limited in his preparation, managing only light pad work and cardio for nearly 6 weeks before the fight. Despite that, the Dagestani fighter insisted on competing. He wanted to fight Pereira again, Cormier said. He knew how important it was to have 2 wins over Alex and to strengthen his legacy as one of the best in the division. People close to him told him not to fight, but he refused to back down. Cormier acknowledged Ankalaev's toughness and determination, but questioned whether the injury truly changed the outcome. Even if he was completely healthy, I'm not sure the result would have been different. Pereira fought a great fight that night, he noted. Ankalaev wasn't at 100%, but even if he had been 120%, there's no guarantee he would have beaten Pereira. DC's comments shed light on Ankalaev's mindset and resilience, revealing the level of sacrifice he made to step into the octagon, despite serious physical limitations. Before moving on to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We're always working to improve our content and truly value your support. If you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. Move on to another news. Carlos Ulberg recently shared his thoughts on Jiri Prochaska's behavior during UFC 320, and it's clear he wasn't impressed with how the former champion carried himself that night. While attending the event in Las Vegas, Ulberg observed Prochaska's actions closely as he came out to watch the main event between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. Prochaska's emotional reaction to Pereira's knockout quickly went viral online, but Ulberg noted that it wasn't just his post-fight reaction that stood out, it was also how he conducted himself while watching the fight live. Speaking on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, Ulberg, who had just earned a massive knockout win over Dominic Reyes the previous weekend, shared his honest perspective. Yeah, I mean, he came in after his fight, which is fair. He had a great win, so of course he had every right to be there, Ulberg said. But the way he carried himself was a bit unusual. You know, Jiri is always a little eccentric, but this time, he walked right up and stood in front of everyone, blocking our view. Ulberg explained that as the main event fighters were walking out, Prochaska remained positioned directly in front of them, creating an awkward situation. He was standing right there in front of us, and pretty much in the way as Pereira and Ankalaev were making their walkouts, he continued. I just felt like, man, let the boys have their moment. They're about to go to war, and the focus should be on them. It wasn't really the time to draw attention to yourself. Despite his frustration, Ulberg made it clear he wasn't personally offended, but found the moment unnecessary. That's just his style, I guess. Jiri's a different guy. Spiritual, intense, a bit unpredictable, but still, it felt odd, Ulberg added. I think there's a time and place to show your energy, and when 2 fighters are about to step into the octagon for a title fight, that's their moment. You step back, show respect, and let them shine. Ulberg's comments reflect his growing confidence and maturity as a rising contender in the light heavyweight division. Fresh off his dominant win over Reyes, he's made it clear that he's ready for a title shot, and that includes calling out behaviors he finds disrespectful in the sport. While he acknowledged Prochaska's unique personality, Ulberg's message was simple. In moments like that, professionalism and respect should come first. Move on to another news. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn didn't hold back when discussing Dana White and the UFC, delivering a sharp critique of the organization's fighter pay model and profit distribution. During a recent appearance on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, Hearn compared the UFC's business structure to the boxing world and argued that mixed martial artists are severely underpaid compared to what they should be earning, given the organization's massive revenue. Hearn explained that in boxing, top fighters are treated as the primary draw of any event, and therefore receive a significant share of the profits. In boxing, when a star like Anthony Joshua headlines a card, he owns the show, Hearn said. We open the books, and he takes about 80% of the profit profit while the promoter takes 20%. Now imagine if the UFC worked that way. Their fighters would be making 5, 6, maybe even 7 times more than they do now. He continued by highlighting a major flaw in the UFC's model, the lack of transparency. UFC fighters are competing without any idea how much revenue is actually in the pot, he said. They don't know what the broadcast deals are worth or how much each event brings in. Meanwhile, they're the ones selling out arenas and generating hundreds of thousands of pay-per-view buys. Without them, there's no show. Hearn emphasized that fighters deserve to be compensated in proportion to the value they bring to the promotion. If I'm the talent, the reason fans are tuning in, then I should have leverage, he said. In boxing, we negotiate openly because the fighters are the product. In the UFC, the company keeps control and dictates the pay scale. While Hearn acknowledged that the UFC is a successful business, he called the financial imbalance unbelievable. It's their model, and if they can get away with it, good luck to them, he admitted. But when fighters are earning $50,000 to show, $100,000 to win, or even $200,000 for a big fight, and the company is making multi-million-dollar broadcasting deals, that's peanuts in comparison. Hearn's comments reignited the ongoing debate about fighter pay in mixed martial arts. While the UFC maintains its stance as a well-run global sports brand, his criticism underscores a growing sentiment among fans and fighters that the athletes risking everything inside the octagon deserve a much larger share of the profits they help generate. Move on to another news. Charles Oliveira has officially thrown his name into the mix of fighters campaigning for a spot on the highly anticipated UFC event, rumored to coincide with Donald Trump's birthday, the so-called UFC White House card. And the former lightweight champion isn't looking for just any opponent. He's setting his sights on the biggest name in combat sports, Conor McGregor. Speaking at UFC Rio Media Day, Oliveira expressed his desire to share the octagon with the Irish superstar, calling it a dream fight that would captivate the entire MMA world. Despite having another fight ahead of him this weekend, Dill Bronx made it clear that a potential clash with McGregor remains high on his radar. A fight with Conor would be massive, Oliveira said. It's the kind of matchup every fighter wants. Big stage, big spotlight, and a chance to make history. Oliveira, known for his elite jiu-jitsu and record-breaking submission wins, has long been one of the UFC's most exciting and dangerous athletes. His aggressive style and finishing ability have earned him a reputation as a fan favorite. A bout with McGregor, one of the sport's biggest draws, would represent not only a huge payday, but also a legacy-defining opportunity. The Brazilian star acknowledged that McGregor remains one of the biggest attractions in MMA, and facing him would be a milestone in his career. Everyone knows what a fight with Conor means, Oliveira said. It's not just another fight, it's a global event, a spectacle. With McGregor reportedly targeting a return around the time of the UFC's rumored White House card, Oliveira's timing couldn't be better. Both men are proven finishers with explosive striking, and stylistically, the matchup promises fireworks. While Oliveira remains focused on his immediate opponent, his message to the UFC and McGregor's camp was clear. If the opportunity arises, he's ready to step up. I respect every fighter, but I'm here for big challenges, Oliveira concluded. If the UFC wants it, if Conor wants it, let's make it happen. Let's give the fans a fight they'll never forget. Move on to another news. Ilia Topuria has officially confirmed that his next fight will be against Paddy Pimblett, a matchup that has been brewing for years and one that fans have been eagerly waiting for. In a recent interview with Setanta Sports Georgia, the UFC featherweight champion not only announced the bout, but also revealed details of a private conversation he had with UFC President Dana White regarding the fight's approval. According to Topuria, Dana gave the green light immediately, recognizing the massive fan interest and the personal stakes behind this rivalry. This is the fight the fans want, Topuria said. I've been asking for it, and Dana knows it's time. This isn't just about rankings or titles, this one is personal. The Georgian Spanish star made it clear that his animosity toward Pimblett runs deep, citing comments the British fighter made years ago about the 2008 Georgian tragedy. Those words still anger me, Topuria stated. You can't disrespect an entire nation and expect it to be forgotten. This fight is about more than competition. It's about respect. Topuria's announcement sent shockwaves through the MMA community. Coming off a spectacular knockout victory over former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira, El Matador has cemented himself as one of the sport's most dangerous and confident fighters. And now he's promising to deliver an even more dominant performance against Pimblett. I finished Oliveira, one of the toughest fighters in the world, he said. But against Paddy, it won't just be a finish. It will be a lesson. I'm going to hurt him in every way possible. Insiders suggest that Dana White's reaction to the fight announcement was overwhelmingly positive, as the matchup carries both entertainment entertainment value and intense personal rivalry. The fight, expected to headline a major UFC card, possibly in early 2026, though the official date and location are yet to be confirmed. Topuria closed his remarks by sending a clear message to his opponent. Paddy talks a lot, but this time he'll have to back it up in the cage, he warned. When that octagon door closes, no words will save him. I'm coming to finish him and to make a statement the whole world will remember. With both fighters known for their outspoken personalities and loyal fan bases, Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett is shaping up to be one of the most explosive showdowns in UFC history. A grudge match fueled by pride, passion, and unfinished business. Move on to another news. Concerns are growing for UFC fighters and staff currently in Rio de Janeiro after reports of a deadly methanol poisoning outbreak linked to contaminated alcoholic beverages. The UFC has officially alerted all personnel attending the event in Brazil, emphasizing the seriousness of the ongoing public health situation. According to local authorities, at least 3 people have died in recent weeks from consuming methanol-tainted alcohol, prompting nationwide warnings. Brazil's health minister, Alexandre Padilha, described the crisis as abnormal and unlike anything we've ever seen in our country's history in relation to methanol poisoning. The issue has become severe enough that the UFC has updated its internal safety guidelines for international events, specifically mentioning the danger. In a memo distributed to fighters, coaches, and staff, the organization highlighted the growing risk and urged everyone to act responsibly when it comes to alcohol consumption. There has been a rise in cases of methanol-tainted alcohol in Brazil, the updated UFC advisory stated. The country's health minister, Alexandre Padilha, has urged individuals to avoid drinking alcohol, particularly distilled beverages, where contamination is harder to detect. As a result, we urge all UFC athletes and team members to exercise their best judgment if they plan to consume alcohol. Methanol is a highly toxic form of alcohol often used in industrial products like fuel and antifreeze. When ingested, it can cause severe poisoning, leading to blindness, organ failure, and even death. Local authorities suspect that some illegally produced or bootleg spirits have entered circulation, particularly in tourist-heavy areas. The UFC's proactive response comes as fighters, including international stars and their teams, prepare for the weekend's major fight card in Rio. The organization's medical and security departments are reportedly working closely with Brazilian health officials to ensure athlete safety throughout the event. Officials have advised all visiting personnel to avoid locally produced or unsealed alcoholic drinks, purchase only from verified vendors, and remain vigilant during their stay. While the event is still scheduled to proceed as planned, the health alert has underscored the potential dangers of off-the-record alcohol consumption in certain parts of Brazil. Move on to another news. Conor McGregor has reportedly agreed to an 18-month suspension after violating the UFC's anti-doping policy. According to reports, McGregor failed to provide his whereabouts for mandatory drug testing on 3 separate occasions in 2024, June 13th, September 19th, and September 20th. These missed tests automatically triggered a violation under the UFC's strict anti-doping regulations, leading to the lengthy suspension. The decision means McGregor will be sidelined from competition until March 20th, 2026. Despite this setback, he will still be eligible to make a comeback in time for the much-anticipated UFC event at the White House, an event that continues to generate massive buzz among fighters and fans alike. Khabib Nurmagomedov, McGregor's longtime rival and former lightweight champion, wasted no time reacting to the news. The undefeated Russian reposted the suspension announcement to his Instagram story, but in true Khabib fashion, he did so with a subtle yet sharp jab, cropping McGregor's face out of the image entirely. It was a quiet but unmistakable act of mockery aimed directly at his old foe. The timing of Khabib's post couldn't have been more symbolic. October 6th marked exactly 7 years since their unforgettable showdown at UFC 229, one of the most chaotic and heated events in mixed martial arts history. That fight ended with Khabib defeating McGregor via submission before a post-fight brawl erupted, cementing their rivalry as one of the most infamous in combat sports. Since retiring from competition, Khabib has stayed true to his promise of never fighting again, but his occasional social media activity still reminds the MMA world of his dominance and his disdain for McGregor's antics. Meanwhile, McGregor's suspension adds yet another chapter to a career filled with highs, lows, and constant controversy. Whether he can reclaim his reputation and return to form in 2026 remains to be seen, but for now, his biggest rival seems to be enjoying the moment from afar.